Hi, let's look at the most frequently appearing cue cards and the follow-ups associated with them for the month of January 2023. I am going to say the cue card and then I'll repeat the follow-up questions. We have around 6 to 7 cue cards which are appearing in the exam, the real exam, and most of our students are getting this repeatedly. So the first cue card is: describe an activity you enjoyed in your free time when you were young. I say this cue card again. You can pause and take screenshots of your screen if you wish to. The first cue card: describe an activity that you enjoyed in your free time when you were young. The first follow-up: is it important to have a break during work or study? Another follow-up is: are there more activities for young people now than 20 years ago? Do adults and children have enough time for leisure activities nowadays? And the last question for this cue card: what sports do young people like to do now? Let's move on to the next one. Describe a complaint that you made and that you were satisfied with the result. I'll say the cue card again. Describe a complaint that you have made and you were satisfied with the result. The first follow-up for this cue card: what products and services do people in your country like to complain about? The second one: would you buy things in the shops where you have complained before? Is it necessary for companies to set up customer service? Do you think customers' complaints will improve products or services? And the last question: are there any disadvantages for setting up the customer services? Let's look at the next cue card and the follow-ups. Describe a piece of good news that you heard about someone you know well. I'll repeat this. Describe a piece of good news that you've heard about someone you know well. The first follow-up: is it good to share something on social media? Should the media only publish good news? How does social media help people access information? And the last question: what kind of good news do people often share in the community? Let's move ahead. The next cue card is: describe a time when you taught a friend or a relative something. I repeat this cue card. Describe a time when you taught a friend or a relative something. The follow-ups: what practical skills can young people teach old people? Do you think showing is better than telling in education? Do people in your country like to watch videos to learn something? And how can we know what to do when we want to learn something new? The last cue card and the follow-ups: describe a historical period you would like to know more about. The first question: should everyone know history? In what ways can children learn history? And is it hard to protect historical buildings? These are the 5 or 6 cue cards which are appearing in the month of January with their follow-ups. If your examiner happens to ask you one of those, it is most certain that you would get the same follow-up questions in your follow-up discussion. My name is Vikas. I represent Insignia Overseas. It's one of the leading IELTS and PTE institutes in Kurukshetra, Haryana, and we make IELTS simple for you. Have a fabulous day, everyone. Thank you.